Quantcast, definitely has done great in the programmatic space in relation to performance advertising. We believe we are one of the, if not the leaders in performance-based advertising. But what's really especially exciting over the last year is that we built on that in terms of our relationships with advertisers. Here's what's been going on. Like our partners have been telling us, well, give us a whole suite of ad products because we're already spending a significant amount of our partnership with you in relation to performance. And so as a result of that, Quantcast has introduced a couple of products in the last year. One of them is search-powered audiences, and the second one is the audience grid. Search-powered audiences is really straightforward. Number of savvy digital advertisers have a choice set of keywords that they use for their search advertising. Quantcast can basically use these keywords as the basis for modeling prospecting users. And so essentially, if you think of search as the ultimate declaration of intent, think of using that same intent but going really upper funnel and thinking of finding folks who are likely to declare intent in the future, in the near future. And so that's what search-powered audiences really is. And that frankly has been our fastest growing product introduction ever in the history of Quantcast. Audience Grid allows essentially marketeers to bridge the gap between traditional consumer insights and online behavior. So what's happened in the past is you've had these traditional market research companies that offer consumer insights in the offline world, and then you have online measurement standards. What Quantcast has done is partnered with some of the leading consumer insights companies to actually release Audience Grid, which allows marketers to, for example, find out users' consumer consumption habits, or television audience usage, or ownership of autos, for example. And so we found this to be really, really valuable because we're enabling marketeers in a very transparent and open way to be exposed to this merging of offline and online data. We see an opportunity in relation to quality and scale of data. The reality is there's 30-odd providers in relation to data, and in a study done by MediaSmith last year that was also written about in the Wall Street Journal, they studied the top 11 data providers, and if I recall, the lower three were essentially equal to random number generators, in the sense that the quality was as good as bad as your control. Think of how bad that really is. And so the reality is the marketplace is growing fast enough that frankly it's enabled sometimes really players who aren't that focused on the quality of the world. Quantcast, on the other hand, is very focused on two items. Because of its market-leading data modeling capability, not only can give quality, but at scale. And so we believe that's really, as the market turns towards and recognizes quality, we believe that's going to be even more exciting for Quantcast. A lot of marketeers in the past have thought of video/brand as experimental and mobile as experimental. In the next 2 to 3 years, I see it all coming together. Essentially, if you roughly think of marketing spend in the next few years, it's going to be in desktop around a half. Roughly desktop will represent 50% of spend, and half of that will be essentially for display, and half of that will be video. And similarly for mobile, mobile will represent the other 50%, half of that in display and half of that video. And so both for marketers and media sellers alike, it's really important to get some of these historical experimental budgets out into the mainstream and really focus on a comprehensive product mix that services all the needs. Really, it's the promise of reach a consumer any place, anywhere, with the right message. And so that's what Quantcast is committed to doing over the next few years.